When we first moved into this apartment, the entry looked like this. A blank niche, no closet, no storage, just a void where an entry closet should be. We had boxes everywhere. 2 small kids, shoes with nowhere to go, coats hanging on the back of chairs, and the absence of storage had a direct impact on the chaos I felt in our new home. What you're about to see is a custom built-in closet from IKEA cabinet boxes, and it may surprise you. Today I'm walking you through exactly how I built a custom-looking entry closet with IKEA and Semihandmade. Every decision, the full process, and what makes the difference between storage that functions and storage that looks like it was always meant to be there. City living can be a specific kind of design problem. You dream of having a garage, your kitchen is typically also your dining and living room, and you don't have a mudroom that absorbs the chaos of a family's daily life. Shoes, backpacks, lunchboxes, soccer gear, etc. Every square foot has to earn its keep, and most of the time it needs to do more than just one job. This niche needed to hold coats, shoes, ski gear, suitcases, a microwave, a toaster, a pantry, and a printer. I know, but that was the reality. And I needed to design for our family's daily life so we weren't overwhelmed with piles of stuff with nowhere to go. Also, I wasn't interested in solving only for storage. I wanted to feel like part of the architecture, not a solution added later, but something that looked as though it was always intended to be there. Our home is a new construction condo, and so this empty niche wasn't the only one in the house. The developer left empty niches throughout the condo. So for this specific project, I planned for this entry closet along with a small walk-in in our primary bedroom and a media unit in our living room, and ordered everything together. The cabinets, the door fronts, all of it. 2 reasons for that. The first is practical. Freight costs for custom door fronts add up fast. Consolidating orders made a meaningful dent. Ours was $700 in freight alone. The second is to create a cohesive design story. When you're deciding on 3 spaces simultaneously, you start thinking about the home as a whole instead of treating each room as its own isolated project. The doors, the finish, the hardware, everything has to speak to each other, so when you're walking through the house, everything flows together as one story. That's what makes a home feel considered. For the cabinet boxes, I used IKEA Sektion kitchen cabinets. Sektion is a modular kitchen cabinet system with a wide range of sizes and interior configurations. While it may be marketed for kitchens, the boxes adapt to any storage need. I added custom hanging rods for the coat section in our entryway, which isn't a standard kitchen configuration. Once you start thinking of the cabinet boxes as purely foundational, you realize you can customize pretty much anything you can imagine. The IKEA planner tool is also genuinely useful, even though it can be a bit cumbersome. You design your entire layout digitally, see how the cabinet sizes work together, and export a PDF that becomes the foundation for the next step in the process. The cabinet box is doing a different job than the door front. One is infrastructure, the other is what you live with visually every day. The cabinet doors are where you have creative license, and that's where Semihandmade comes in. So let me explain what Semihandmade actually is, because if you haven't heard of them and you're trying to DIY your own custom closet or storage solution, they are a name to know. Semihandmade makes custom door and drawer fronts designed specifically to fit IKEA cabinet boxes. It was a brilliant idea for homeowners who wanted more variety in color, texture, and weight to the doors available at IKEA. The doors arrive pre-drilled to work with IKEA's existing hinges and hardware. Installation is exactly the same as it would be if you're installing IKEA doors. No special tools, you're just now adding a custom door that you selected based on your personal style. What makes them better? Their variety of materials, from textured melamine to real wood veneer or painted finishes in nearly any color you can imagine. The profiles range from flat slab to shaker to more architectural options. The doors have real weight and heft. My sister once asked me why I didn't just use IKEA doors. My answer was because that would be too easy. The short answer is, though, I wanted more options. The long answer is that the door front is the part you interact with daily. And if I'm going to invest my time building something, I wanted that visible layer to reflect the design story I'm trying to create. The ordering process is more straightforward than you might expect, but it definitely takes some time to plan. Step 1. Design your layout in IKEA's kitchen planner. I use the online tool, but you could also go in store. Work out your full cabinet configuration and export the PDF. This document becomes the basis for your Semihandmade order. Step 2. Order the cabinet boxes only. The IKEA kitchen planner can be a little rigid. I used it just to make sure I was ordering the right size cabinet boxes. Don't worry too much if the planning tool adds extra shelves or drawers inside the cabinet boxes. You can always remove any extra items before you check out. Step 3, order samples from Semihandmade before committing to anything. Semihandmade offers samples for a nominal cost, and for a project of this scale, you should see the samples. Finished colors read differently in a photograph than they do in your actual space. Look at the samples in your light, against your walls, next to your floors. If you want help designing your layout, Semihandmade offers a couple design packages which are credited toward your purchase. One includes drawings and renderings, and another is simply building your shopping cart for you based on your design plan. I already had my own drawings, but I had them build a shopping cart for me. I would do this again without hesitation. Having a professional look at your plans and walk you through the design is genuinely helpful. I sketched everything out for myself because I'm a visual person and share them with the designer at Semihandmade, and she was able to point out a few things I hadn't thought of. There's no downside, and the last thing you want is to have your doors delivered only to realize you're short a filler panel. Step 4. Place your order and build your timeline around the lead time. Semi-handmade doors are made to order. Production is approximately 3 to 4 weeks, plus another 5 to 7 days for shipping. So from order to arrival, you're typically looking at a month to 6 weeks. A few of my doors arrived damaged in transit. No big deal, reordering to add it a couple weeks, but something to keep in mind if you're working towards a hard deadline. Step 5. Door installation, and this follows IKEA's door install process. The Semi-handmade fronts go on exactly the way IKEA doors would. Same instructions, same hardware. The door profile decision is where design thinking gets interesting. I landed on a mix of two, slab and quarter line. Slab doors are completely flat, they give the eye a place to rest. The quarter line adds a subtle vertical line, not a shaker profile, but something more contemporary. Just enough detail to keep the whole thing from reading as flat. Together they keep the space contemporary but not cold. A twist on a traditional profile. Full shaker would have been too traditional. All slabs fronts would have worked, but it would have been less interesting. One thing this project reinforced for me is that good design decisions aren't always about choosing between two options. Sometimes they're about finding a way for both of them to coexist. Mixing profiles creates a truly custom look. If you're interested in custom doors but you're not sure of the budget, I recommend that you jot down a few door sizes you think you'd be using, pricing out the various styles of doors, and compare and contrast them with what you would consider. Current pricing is easily available on their website, so you can look up the size doors you need for a baseline estimate. There's no single answer because it depends entirely on your material choice, profile, and quantity. But here's a framework that helped me think about it. Fully custom cabinetry, cabinet boxes, and custom doors made and installed by a cabinet maker is significantly more expensive. In New York, I had a quote for over $10,000 for just one built-in. IKEA boxes with IKEA doors is the least expensive option. You'll get functional storage with a clean look. The IKEA plus Semi-handmade approach sits in the middle, and it delivers a look that feels custom. That's the value proposition. One more thing, Semi-handmade does run seasonal promotions, so if you have flexibility in your timeline, it's worth watching for those. At scale, a discount can be quite meaningful. Hardware is one of those details that seems small until it's installed. Then it's often the first thing you notice. I knew early that I wanted the Holland backplate from Top Knobs. It's a quiet architectural detail that grounds the pull without competing with the door profile. I paired a square bar handle with the backplate for the larger doors and a classic round brass knob for the smaller ones. Mixing hardware is something I'm in favor of, but make sure to sample in the space before you commit to quantity. Brass finishes vary widely between manufacturers, and you want to check the color and feel the weight before you order 20 of them. For lighting, I tested several sconces before landing on this Thomas O'Brien piece from Lighting New York. The scale relative to the build was the main consideration. Also, how the brass would look next to the brass hardware. What I ended up with is a wall that holds everything it needs to hold and reads like it was always part of this apartment. Coats, shoes, ski gear, the appliances that needed a home, everything has a spot and it looks like it was always meant to be there. The decisions that got us there weren't complicated. IKEA Sektion cabinet boxes, semi-handmade door fronts, mixed hardware, considered lighting. What makes the results feel elevated is that they were made in relationship to each other. That's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Not which products to choose, but how to tell a design story. If you're looking at a space in your home that's functioning below its potential and you keep telling yourself you'll get to it or that you can't afford to do it right, this may be an option to consider. With a bit of planning, you can build a thoughtfully designed storage solution with IKEA cabinet boxes behind a custom door front. Paired with thoughtful hardware and lighting, the results feel far more custom than its individual components would suggest. The gap between what you want and what you think you can do is often smaller than it may seem. If you're new here, please subscribe. This is the kind of project I document regularly, and there's a lot more to come. Questions about anything in this build, semi-handmade, the IKEA planning process, please leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.